Hello, welcome back to my channel. Totally wasn't expecting to film right now, hence why there's a ladder in the background and I'm a bit dishevelled. But basically I got a couple of new decks recently, and I went to go and put them away in their place, and I realised that I wasn't happy with how my card decks were on my shelving. I actually still don't know how I'm going to put them back. So if you do have any advice about how you store your card decks, your oracle cards, your tarot cards, please let me know, because I would be very, very interested. I basically want ease of access so I can see them and just access them really easily, but I can't really work out the best way to stack them or if there's any other solution. So do let me know, please. I'd be so grateful. Or maybe you keep yours in drawers or boxes. But anyways, as I have pulled them all off my shelf, I thought, why not just go through my collection as I place them back? And I can just tell you just a gut feel, not a gut feel, but just a quick rundown of whether I like that deck or not, or my thoughts about it. So yeah, here we are. This is my entire tarot and oracle card collection to date. Let's see what we've got. So I'm going to start with this one, as it's right here. I'm going to go in this order. This is the Guardian Angel Oracle deck by Chrissy Astel. Now, I have barely used this one. This is not one I have seen online or anything. Well, I have when I searched it, but what I mean is, you know, when you feel like you need a new deck or you'd like a new deck and you're looking through online and seeing what takes your fancy. It's not one that I have come across, but it is one that I found in a charity shop. So, of course, I had to get it. And it actually, funnily enough, was sort of, I was going to say the height of lockdown, but it obviously wasn't lockdown. It was basically, you know, when shops started opening after the initial lockdown, it was then, and I was quite anxious to go into a shop, and I really missed charity shops. So I was like, okay, I can do it, I can go in, I'm going to be fine. I called on protection, and this deck was the first thing I saw, so I had to get it. And it was also when I was training to be a Kundalini Reiki master as well. It corresponds to the same timing as when I found these, so I did use these a little bit when I was training Reiki wise, but I just don't reach for them, unfortunately. I love the story behind them, but I don't particularly connect with them. I don't know if it's just because they're kind of not the usual art style I would go for. They're a bit bigger. I'm not too sure, but basically it is all, there's 52 cards. I'm not sure if they are, no, I was going to say I couldn't remember if they had the archangels like that, but it's not. It's more just like wording, like transform, healing, creativity, things like that. So it's kind of nurturing, all different words like that. So this deck has a nice story behind it, but I never reach for it, unfortunately. And I'm trying to decide whether I can part with decks or how I feel about that. I'm not too sure. So there's that one. The next on my pile is a tarot deck. It's the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. My pronunciation is going to be terrible, by the way, just a pre-warner. This is by Lunar, I think, Weatherstone. I'm probably butchering that name. Murphy, my cat, has come to say hello. But I love this deck. The only thing I don't love, which some people probably would love, is the size of the box. I mean, it does make it feel nice and luxurious, but it's just not particularly convenient. But it opens like this, and it does come with the most gorgeous, I'm trying not to drop everything, it does come with the most gorgeous book. I love them. I love it, sorry. I love that it's got on each page it's got a full-sized picture of the card, and these are very kind of very witchy, very foresty, but I would say more like magical. It's not foresty. Well, it's got nature as in trees, but there aren't very many animals. It's kind of deceiving because at the front, sorry, the front of this box. There are loads of animals, but there aren't many animal cards, but they are gorgeous. I'll just get them out and show you as well. I'm making a bit of a hash of this because this is the other thing as well. With this deck, the cards are just in the box like this, so they're a lot smaller. But this is the back of them. Here are the fronts, so they are really, really lovely, beautiful cards. They're very easy to shuffle. They are very easy. Sorry, I was just trying to show you like a card. Very easy to shuffle. I do find that they give good readings. However, the book is quite basic in terms of meaning, so it is, a lot of it is down to your own personal interpretation. But I do love them. I wouldn't say I reach for them loads, but I would recommend them. They have like a special place in my heart, if that makes sense. They feel special. The next up, we've got Spirit Junkie by Gabrielle Bernstein. Now, this one I have barely used, to be honest. There's 3 decks here that this story applies to, and I'll tell you which ones they are when I get to them. But basically, I have a little bit of a spiritual shop on my website, which I will link down below if you're interested. But I have a little bit of a spiritual shop on there, which I actually haven't updated in ages. I'm going to get back to it soon. Just checking what my cat is doing. But I had quite a few oracle card decks, and I had 3 left. And I was going through a stage where I really craved, tell me if you guys are like this, but I really craved a new deck. I really wanted a new one. But I thought, oh, I don't really want to spend the money on it. So I just decided to unwrap and keep the 3 decks that hadn't yet sold, and keep them for myself because they'd been there a few months. And this was one of them. So this one I don't use. Sorry, I keep looking behind me. It's just checking what he's up to. These are beautiful cards. Let me show you. These are the back. They're nice size again. They're beautiful, beautiful cards, but they're not guidance. There's no book with these. They are just all affirmations, which is lovely if you feel like you need an affirmation. I find these lovely to use. I've used these with clients before, like in coaching calls and things. So it's just lovely little artwork and sayings. So if you wanted, you could absolutely just pull a card each day and pop it on your desk, and it's like your little affirmation for the day. So this one, I send a prayer of love to all beings in need of a miracle. Let me be still today and listen to the truth in silence. I trust that my intuition is always leading me in the right direction. So yeah, they're just gorgeous little, as I say, affirmations, but these don't provide you with guidance. So they're beautiful, but unfortunately they don't get loads of use from me, but I'm quite happy they're in my collection. I will not complain. The next is not really a tarot deck or an oracle card deck at all, to be honest. So I'm not sure if I will particularly show you properly, but it's just from Mal paper. It's just an affirmation deck. They're just little playing card sized ones. Just show you one, for example. Very, very basic, but they just all come with a little affirmation. So I am not restricted by my limiting beliefs. So I do find that they do say lovely things. It's just, you know, the quality of the cards could be nicer. Hi, Murphs. Next, we've got the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. Now, a lot of people absolutely love Rebecca Campbell cards, particularly Work Your Light, which I don't have. I really struggle to connect to this deck as well as I feel other people do. Maybe I just need more time with it and I haven't given it the time of day. I do love the box. I love that. And I think the artwork is absolutely beautiful. I mean, that's the back. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. I just personally don't connect with them like other people seem to. And I wish I did, because they're gorgeous. And I do love how it has... I love cards that have like a little bit of writing at the bottom. So this one, for example, says weight of the world, boundaries, let it go, is not yours to carry. So it may be, to be honest, maybe I should leave these out and just work with them more and see if I connect more. But it's not my favourite. I can appreciate its beauty, but it's not my favourite, which is a shame, because as I say, loads of people seem to love that deck. Next we've got the Moonology. This is the original Moonology deck by Yasmin Boland. I haven't got the new one. I do have the original. Again, I do like this deck, but I don't find it, I don't use it for personal readings really at all. I tend to just use it on a new moon or a full moon, particularly if I'm doing like a collective reading. So say I'm doing, if I want to put a reading out on Instagram, just pulling a card for everybody, that's the kind of time I would use it. They're all they're all under the moon phases. So like, for example, you've got new moon in Cancer here, you and your loved ones are safe, so you can use it as kind of like a almost like a flashcard thing of, for example, when it is the new moon in Cancer, reading about it a bit. But you're supposed to just kind of just use them just like you would normal oracle cards and see what guidance comes up. And it doesn't matter if the moon phase, for example, doesn't match the moon phase that you're in. They're okay, they're beautiful. Again, I'm glad I have them in my collection. I would recommend them, but they're not ones that I reach for if I'm looking for guidance. I won't reach for them. I just tend to use them, like I say, on a new moon or a full moon, for kind of seeing the energy that might be around for the next couple of weeks or so. So that is that deck. Next we have got a tarot deck. This is the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. I love this deck. I think it's so beautiful. It's quite a chunky box. The artwork is beautiful, but also the cards are as well. So they're a nice size, I find personally. I love the back, and they're just so colourful, and I just find the artwork, oh, sorry, a lot of these are upside down. I just find the artwork lovely, and I know a lot of people say that you should, if you're new to tarot, you should use the traditional tarot deck first, which I do have, which I'll get to in a bit. But I personally find the imagery on these cards easier to interpret if you're not familiar with tarot. Yeah, I mean, it could be a personal perspective, but I really do. I find them a lot easier to connect with. And they're beautiful. I just enjoy working with them. So they are all the traditional wording. So for example, with the Forest of Enchantment tarot, like the moon wouldn't be called the moon, it would have a different name. But in here, the moon is the moon, and Ace of Cups is Ace of Cups. So yeah, and the guidebook I like as well. I'm just trying to get them back in their box, and it's not working very well. They also give you the interpretation if your card is upside down, so if it's a reversed card. And yeah, would definitely recommend that deck if you are looking for a tarot. Next is another tarot deck. Now, I don't know that you can actually get this anymore. It's Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine, which is why I'm not sure, because a lot of her decks, well, she pulled out of spirituality in general, and actually urged people to burn their decks because she believes spirituality is to do with the devil and things now. And so the cards are discontinued and expensive when you do get hold of them. But I really love this deck. This was actually the main tarot deck I always used to use for readings for people, professional readings. Now I only do, well, currently I only do 3 card readings, but I used to do in-depth ones, and I used to love using these. So they are all animals, and what I love about them is that they do come with like a little sentence or two at the bottom, which makes it really easy if you just want some guidance and you don't necessarily want to be sitting and looking through the books all the time. For example, this says Princess of Summer, sensitive, kind, open-hearted, inexperienced. You can expect to kindle a new romantic relationship or close platonic friendship. You may suddenly receive an emotional message from someone or be invited to a social event. So the card itself gives you a fair amount of information, and as you can see, they're well loved. So I won't dwell on that deck because unfortunately I'm not sure how easy it is to get hold of anymore. But if you can, I would recommend it. It is absolutely one of my favourites. So always gives accurate messages. Nice chunky deck. The next I've got is another tarot deck. This is the Akashic Tarot, or Akashic, depending on how you choose to pronounce it, by Sharon Ann Klinger and Sandra Ann Taylor. Again, probably mispronouncing names a lot. This one, again, I haven't used that much, if I'm honest. Not because I don't feel like it gives accurate messages, because I do find it does. There's just something about it. I don't know if it's just that I don't love the artwork so much. Like, that's beautiful, but the actual cards are, I don't know, there's just something about them. They're kind of not old-fashioned, but I just don't vibe with them so much. They're not my kind of preferred kind of card. And I also find that, I don't know, I don't love the wording as well. Like, I don't love them, but I do find them interesting, and they have been accurate in their descriptions. I do love the bag. It's supposedly, what does it actually say? So if you don't know about the Akashic Records or Akashic Records, it's supposed to be kind of the library to your soul. So all your past lives, all your past experiences, all your future, all your present. So yeah, that's a very simplified version. So this is supposed to help you unveil hidden insights. I'm just reading. So the Akashic Tarot is designed to access the profound energy and unlimited information that make up the Akashic Records, which are great fields of wisdom and power that transcend time and space and are immediately available to all. With each card, you can connect with a powerful Akashic field and open to the psychic currents that are always flowing between you and the Akashic realm. Maybe it's because I'm not Akashic Record trained, but I thought that these would be able to help me work with the records. Personally, they don't. They are just kind of like a tarot or an oracle card deck. So, yeah. I mean, they're different. That's nice. But I don't reach for them a lot. But sometimes I go through a stage where I do. Hit and miss, I find. Okay, next I've got Art Through the Starstream Oracle by Cheryl Yambrush Rose, I want to say. Gorgeous box. I bought these in Glastonbury from the Chalice Well, which is, if you've ever been to Glastonbury, you know how gorgeous it is. It's very spiritual, very divine feminine place. Wow, I've just realised I've been recording for 19 minutes and I'm not even halfway through, so I better speed up. But I got them there because I wanted something to remind me of there, and very spiritual place. And they are gorgeous cards. They're a bit big. I do find them hard to shuffle. These I also think are quite hard to get hold of. You can get them directly from the Chalice Well website, but other than that, I think they are quite hard to get hold of. I think they're maybe only sold in Glastonbury. The edging is gorgeous. I absolutely love when cards have the gold edging. And the cards themselves are beautiful. They're all very, as you would expect. It's from Chalice Well. Very, very Glastonbury based. However, the guidebook doesn't give a ton of information. It looks like it does, but it's mostly kind of historic, cultural about the image on the card rather than like rather than intuitive guidance. So you do have to tune in more with your own intuition about what the card is saying. And I just find I don't get as much from them, but they are stunning. I'm very glad to have them in my collection. More is kind of a memory. Again, maybe it's just I need to work with them more. But yeah, so they're them. Can't speak. Next up, I kind of want to go to my other Glastonbury one, but why can't I see it? Well, this is concerning. Oh, it's right in front of me. I will skip ahead to my other Glastonbury deck. This I also got in Glastonbury, but this you can widely get. And to be honest, I spent a fortune on this when I could have got it way cheaper online, because I paid above RRP. I think I paid like 20 something pounds, and actually at Rockpool they're £16.99. So anyway, side note, these are the Mists of Avalon Oracle by Rose in Sarah, and I love these cards. They're one of my favourite decks. I always find, to be honest, Rockpool in general is probably my favourite publisher. I always connect really well to the cards, and I also love the feel of them as well. So yeah, again, very Glastonbury inspired. What I love about them is, again, they do have keywords on them. So they have 4 keywords and the name of it. I find they always give accurate messages. I find them easy to try and get my own messages from as well. So I would thoroughly recommend this deck to anybody. I find it like it's one of the ones I reach for myself and for clients, and I really like the guidebook as well. So that is way up there in my favourites. Next we'll go with this one, Spirit Animal Wisdom deck by Katie Jane Wright. Now she is actually bringing out a new deck this year, I think, which I'm desperate to get my hands on. I love this one. I used to use this all the time. I reach for it less now, but I think this is because I find when I do Reiki, when I meditate, any kind of intuitive work, I find spirit animals come to me as messages. So because spirit animals naturally just come into my mind and seem to want to work with me, I feel less inclined to pull a card asking for a spirit animal, because they will just arrive in my third eye anyway, if that makes sense. But this is a beautiful deck. I would highly recommend it. I used to use it all the time, as I say, and I still do use it time to time. Just tend to just reach for my newer ones, but they're gorgeous. They're full of animals. Again, sorry, some of them upside down. And it gives you a little bit of information. So Panther, protection. Consider who you allow to take your energy and who you give it away to freely. So really easy to know what the card is about. Also in the book it gives a crystal companion, so a crystal that will help you with the message on the card. To be honest, I should probably use this more because I forgot how much I love it. Again, one of my favorites, would definitely recommend. Okay, next we have got, oh my gosh, there's so many. Right, let's go with this one, Kyle Gray, Angels and Ancestors Oracle card. Oracle cards. This was my very first Oracle card deck, and it holds a very special place in my heart. I absolutely love it. It has always given me accurate messages. Would recommend to anybody. This is my favourite Kyle Gray deck, hands down. I do have them all, which I will get to. Also, I did my angel guide training with Kyle Gray, so I think that's another reason why I just am a super fan. But Another reason, sorry, I forgot to mention, another reason I was really attracted to these is because of the Native American side. I swear I have a past life as a Native American, so I think that's why I connect. But yeah, gorgeous cards. Again, I find them really easy to interpret. So it gives you little things. This is not a tarot deck, but this does happen to have the Hermit, which is retreat and recharge, so very much like the tarot. But again, it's not a tarot deck. So you've got like warrior, be fearless and stand strong, stag, trust and thrive. I just love them. I love the colours, I love the imagery, I love the messages. I find it to be really accurate. Would recommend. Now, because I love that deck so much, and because I love Kyle Gray so much, I did go on to get all of his other decks, especially when I was doing my angel guide training. I did buy, I'm trying to find the other one, here we go, these two to use during that, because they have all the angels, so all the archangels in there. So you've got the Angel's Prayer, where am I? Yeah, the Angel Prayers deck and Keepers of the Light deck. I do like these, but they are not ones I tend to reach for much anymore. Maybe it's just because I've kind of not moved away from angels, but kind of. Like, I used to work with angels a lot more than I do now. So it's maybe why. But they are lovely cards. You've got all the angels there and a bit about it. So Archangel Zadkiel, we've got transformation, and then this one, because this is angel prayers, it gives you a little prayer to say as well. So it says like, thank you Zadkiel for supporting me to transform from my past challenges. So a little thing that you can say, but it also does provide guidance for you in the guidebook as well. So yeah, these ones, and I do feel like they do go quite nicely with the Keepers of the Light deck, which I'm about to show you. And actually this is what he taught us in the course, is that they can, I never would because I'm so pernickety, but he often mixes his decks together, these two together, to create a super deck. Personally, I wouldn't want to do that, but I do use them alongside each other. Trying to get the lid on. So then Keepers of the Light. Here we go. So again, this deck, again, they're a lot upside down, is a mixture of angels and ascended masters. And I think it's this one I prefer, I think, over angel prayers. It's very, very similar though. It doesn't give you a prayer, but it does give you a little bit of information about the card. Yeah, this one is definitely my preference over angel prayers. But I have other favourite Kyle Gray decks, so would recommend, but it's not up there in my favourites. Sticking in the Kyle Gray front, let me just check I've just got all of them. This one is another one of my, this is my second favourite one by him, the Angel Guide Oracle deck, which you can kind of see, it's kind of a bit battered and loved. These aren't specific angels as such, but they are, oh gosh, sorry, they're all upside down. They are all angel messages that give you a little saying. So you've got like, take a step back, ease and grace, courage and bravery. So you can see that they're very easy to interpret as well, and I do find them to give really accurate messages. You've got like compassion, compassion. I'm trying to go quicker, but yeah, would definitely recommend. As you can see, this book is a bit well loved as well. This one is up there. I always go through phases with my decks where I will use them a lot and then not use them for a while and then get back into them. This one is Kyle's most recent deck, which I have to say, for some reason, I have barely used. Probably used it a couple of times, so I'm actually going to leave this out so I can get used to it more. The box is beautiful. This is about activating the ancient wisdom within and the ancient wisdom within the universe, rather than his others, which are more angel based. They're very similar in terms of the way that you get a little saying at the bottom and some keywords. The artwork again is beautiful. I just haven't had a chance to connect with these as much to give much of an opinion, but Kyle Gray, I just love anything he does. So yeah, maybe I need to get used to them more. Wouldn't say I recommend, because I've not used them enough to know, and sometimes when I get new cards I instantly connect and would 100% recommend. This hasn't happened with this deck, but I'm going to give it a chance. It is beautiful. I'm running out of space. Right, Angel, sorry, I've got a really itchy sort of side. Next we've got Angel Answers. Again, Radley Valentine. I don't love this deck. I'm considering passing it on. I actually coloured the sides because this deck is split into 3 types of cards. So as you can see, you've got the yellows, which I've done yellow edging, and then like the purples, which I've done purple edging, and then the pinks, pinks, which I've done pink edging. So the yellows are kind of like a time frame. So you'd ask a question and then it says, like, for example, within the next few months, wait, you're ready, that kind of thing. The purples are yes and no's, or don't stop, like that kind of thing. More of a short-term answer. And then the pinks are kind of like general guidance, like big happy changes, meditation brings answers, abundance, success, recovery, that kind of thing. They're beautiful. I love the idea of them. In practice, I don't love them. And I just don't reach for them ever. I would much rather use my pendulum or something like that. So that, unfortunately, kind of gets put in a separate place. Very much like this one, which I hate to say because it's by an independent author. Do you call it author when it's in a tarot book? I think so. By Ethany, Bad Bitches Tarot. This I actually won in a competition. I'm so grateful for, and I feel really bad saying it, but the artwork is beautiful. I love the idea of it. It's all about sort of like entrepreneur women. Backs are gorgeous with the foiling. So it's a tarot deck, you know, with powerful women. I just do not connect with it. I just don't. Which is a real shame. I just realised I forgot it's got pink edging. So that's not one that I would recommend, but I think that's maybe a me thing rather than the card deck. The box is beautiful. Right, traditional deck. My very first deck I ever got, the original Rider-Waite tarot deck. You can get this in kind of various different packaging styles and like card styles, but ultimately the cards will be the same. They just might have a slightly different imagery, not much. The size might be different, the box might be different, the colouring might be different, the back might be different, but the Rider-Waite deck is the original tarot deck. It's the one that most people are talking about when you talk about tarot. So I'm not really sure what else to say about this. It is the classic tarot. So if you want to work with tarot, I would recommend. The only thing I would say about this is it comes with, which I don't have anymore, a tiny little paper leaflet. It doesn't give you much information on the cards, so you have to learn elsewhere. I actually have a book, Step-by-Step Tarot, which gives you a rundown of all the different cards, which I just bought separately when I was learning. I would recommend this book actually. So yeah, just your classic tarot really, not more I can say. where do I go next? So we've got next Seasons of the Witch. I have got both decks. These are by Lorraine Anderson and Juliet Diaz. And sorry, I was just checking I got the first one first. Yeah, this is the Semaine one, and this is the Yule one. Both are gorgeous. Absolutely love them both. I find, again, it's by Rockpool. Again, these are one of my favourites. I always find them really accurate messages. They're also beautiful. I can see why some people may not potentially like them so much, because they are, like, for example, the information here is kind of a bit of a riddle. So this is Wolf. Devour the ferocious calling within the howling of your spirit. Run wildly into the freedom of your knowing. And then Dark Moon. In the dark of your heart lives new breath, waiting for you to release its ghost. So they're kind of, they don't tell you much here, but the guidebook is really good. The imagery is just stunning, I think. Gosh, sorry, so many of these are upside down. I swear all of the ones I'm showing you are upside down. The backs are gorgeous, and the red foiling, just stunning. And I think I said, but always really accurate messages as well. So I absolutely love these. And that is why I then got, when the new one came out, this is why I got the Yule deck. So it's the Christmassy version. So I've not had this as long. Unfortunately, I don't know if I just got unlucky with my deck, but it's got this gorgeous green foiling. But as you can see, it's worn down really quickly. But I don't know, maybe I just had a bit of a faulty deck, because my Semaine one hasn't done that, and obviously I've had that longer. But it should have been like this. Gorgeous. They work really nicely together. These are very, very similar to the other ones. Just obviously different cards, but the vibe is very similar. I would say, I don't know which is my favourite. Probably the original one, but that's probably just because it's original and it's the first one I got. So I would recommend both. I love them both. I think they're lovely. And I find the book to be really good as well. Would recommend. Next up, we have got one that I loved the idea of, and I do like, but I do have some issue with, and it's the Celtic Tree Oracle by Sherilyn Hidalgo. Now, one of my biggest issues is the box. It's quite a big box, and I don't love when it's like this, where the guidebook and the box, you'll see, are bigger than the cards. It's not much of a problem. I just wish they wouldn't do that. The book is nice. I love the book. The way it's not like a special book, but as in terms of the meaning, I like the way that it explains the cards to you. The cards themselves are just where I wish they were a bit different. They're okay. The imagery for me is not the best. I would prefer, this is just me being fussy, I would prefer more, like this is Blackthorn. I would prefer to really see the whole, if that makes sense. Like Ivy is just the one leaf, and Aspen is just the one leaf, which is fine. It's fine. I don't know. They're okay. The imagery is okay. I don't love it. I also find it a bit hard to shuffle. But I like the idea of them. I think that's what it is. I love the idea of them more than I love the cards. So if you are looking for a tree-based deck, I would absolutely say give this a look. See if this does appeal. But I wouldn't say go on, rush out and buy it, you know. But everyone's different. Like I said, everyone loves Rebecca Campbell decks, and I just don't. So maybe this would be a good deck for you. Next we have got another spirit animal deck, which is by Stephen Farmer. Now I thought I would love this deck because I've got a book about spirit animals by Stephen Farmer, which I love, and he's like, I don't know, quite knowledgeable. It's his field of expertise. But again, I don't love them. I think because it's kind of like a crinkly feel, I don't really like the way they shuffle. The cards are nice. I like the fact that they have a bit of information. So like Weasel, be silent, pay attention, and simply observe with your eyes, ears, and physical feelings what is happening inside and all around you. So I like the idea of them. I like the look of them. I don't like the way they shuffle, and I don't always find them to be not particularly accurate, but throwing one on the floor. If I do want to use a spirit animal deck, I will always go for the Katie Jane Wright one instead. So this one doesn't really get used anymore, which is a shame. But sometimes it's the way it goes. There's that one. I'm losing my voice from talking so much. Gosh, 40 minutes. This one is the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. This was one of the ones from my stock that I kept. I don't love it, if I'm honest. I feel like there's a theme here. Trust me, we are going to pick up in a minute. I don't love it, but that's just because it's just not the kind of deck that I prefer. With these, you have things like, it says welcoming surrender, and then on the back it says there is no problem, only destiny being revealed. So they're very much like this. So it's like, I don't know, here we go again. You've got dispelling sadness. I will feel better once I get the rest I need. So it's a nice bit of advice. Again, I kind of like the idea of it more than I like the actual cards. I do use them. I tended to use them more in coaching. I think maybe that's what it is. I think this very much like the Spirit Junkie deck. I prefer using these for other people for a quick bit of self-care rather than for guidance, rather than for myself as well. So if that's what you're looking for, you're kind of looking for some healing, just quick self-care kind of advice. It is nice. It's just, I don't love it. Where should we go next? Probably this one. So this is the I Ching Oracle deck. This is very, very new to me. I've only used it like twice. I don't love it. It's not, but that's because it's not what I expected. I bought the wrong thing, really. The box is gorgeous. If you don't know, that I Ching is the world's oldest oracle system. It's ancient Chinese. Traditionally, it's done with throwing these Chinese coins and reading. I don't really know, to be honest. I don't know, but it's to do with reading the coins and then referring to. Oh, I can't remember what the book is called. It's the I Ching book, but it's called something. The Book of something. And it's got all the guidance in. But I thought, oh, maybe an oracle card deck will be easier way for me to start working with it. But the book is kind of riddly, and it's just not the way my brain works. For some people, the reviews on this deck are amazing. People love this deck. For me, it's just not what I expected. So these are the cards. It's a very different kind of deck. It's not like a normal oracle, which if I'd have done my research, I would have known. But I'll give you an example. So, for example, card 1 is heaven is the sky, always both above and below, as day and night is around the planet. Heaven is also the presence of the divine, which is above, below, all around and within. Both time and eternity influence humanity through the creative power of heaven. Sublime success is assured through creative perseverance. So for me, I'm not very good at riddles. So unfortunately, because I've only literally just kind of explored, just randomly pulling a card. I've not cleansed them. I've just kind of like randomly pulled a card to see what it says. I think I might actually sell these, because it would be a shame that I know that they're just going to sit around and not be used, and I'd rather they went to a good home. So if you are interested, let me know. Pop me a comment. But yeah, I can see why people love them, but for me, they don't work for me. Next, this was a Christmas present, which I did show you in my last video, so I'll be really quick with this. Beyond Lemuria by Izzy Ivy. Again, if I were going to just change anything, it would just be the size of the box. Like I said, I just prefer when the box and the book is not bigger than the cards, and also the cards are quite big and clunky to shuffle, but they are beautiful and always provide lovely messages, lovely accurate messages as well. So I would recommend them. If you want to see more of these and hear me talk more about them, then watch my last video, because I do show them more. But these are one of my favourites at the minute, but then I did get it for Christmas. So, but how gorgeous. So gorgeous. I do love, if I feel like I want some loving guidance, that would definitely be one I would go towards. Next up, I've spoken about these in depth on this channel before, so if you want to see these more in depth, go back and you can find my old video. Try and remember to link it below if I can. But these are the decks by Wendy Andrew, the Goddess decks. So you've got the original, the Goddess Dream Oracle, and then you've got the Goddess Love Oracle. Again, they're by Rockpool. Two of my favourite decks. Absolutely obsessed with them. I love them. I find that they give really beautiful, accurate messages. Beautiful artwork. I love that they say things at the bottom. I love particularly with, which one is it? I can never remember. So yeah, so the Dream Oracle always comes with an affirmation. And then the Goddess Love Oracle, which I just love when decks match each other. So, you know, like the Seasons of the Witch deck, they pair together, and these ones pair together. I love that. So these ones are very similar. I think this is my favourite one, actually. And this one always comes with a guided practice. So, for example, I'll try and read you a short one. Like the Awakening card, for example, the Goddess-inspired daily practices. Whenever you find yourself exerting effort in trying to get to the end of something, ask yourself, how can I bring my attention to enjoying what I have right now? Whenever you find yourself desiring a certain outcome, ask yourself, what would happen if I released rather than strived? Some of them are sort of like mini meditations, they're journal prompts. I love them. I find them beautiful. I find them really accurate and really loving and comforting. So definitely up there in my favourites. Next is a very, very new deck to me. It's like not even a week old. And it's Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Again, it's by Rockpool. There's a theme here. I love this deck. It is so accurate. I've also used it on clients as well. I've used it for people in my monthly membership and people who are just having 3-card readings. And they have all said the same. How accurate it is just, it's my current favourite, but also it is new. The imagery as well is beautiful. I love that it's got like a little text at the bottom. So you've got creation, faith, the unexpected, pleasure. I just think that they're gorgeous. I love the book. I love the size. I find them to be really loving, really, really accurate messages. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Love. As I said, current fave. Next we have got the Sacred Self-Care Oracle by Jill Pyle. Again, 100% recommend. I feel like everyone should have this. This isn't so much for guidance. You can use it for guidance, but it is, as it says, it's more self-care. So I'll show you. I use this all the time for myself and all the time for clients. You basically shuffle and it gives you a self-care practice to do that day that's going to help you. So we've got positive affirmations, flow like water, intuition. You've got all different things, chanting, spend time with friends. I can't really show you very well. There we go. Gorgeous imagery. I love the idea of it. And then the book gives a lovely amount of information about it as well. So it will give you, say it says chanting. In fact, where is chanting in here? Oh gosh, I don't know. Here we go. Where is it? I don't know. But it gives you the chants that you can say as well. And so, for example, we've got the Burning Bowl Ritual card. It actually talks you through the process of a Burning Bowl Ritual. And it always gives a journal prompt as well, which I find is excellent for self-care. So, I just feel like everyone should have that in their life. Because some days, you know, you need a bit of TLC, but you're not entirely sure what you need. Or it's just really nice to bring into your everyday practice. Just pull in a self-care card every morning. So, yep. And then lastly, last but not least, one I've been loving lately is another one that was sat in my cupboard not selling, so I kept myself, but I love it. It's the Daily Crystal Inspiration Deck. So again, you absolutely can use this for guidance, because the guidebook does give you some intuitive guidance. Not loads, but a bit. But the way I use this is sometimes I just intuitively know what crystal I want to use that day. But other times I find it nice to kind of change it up a bit. I've got so many crystals in my collection, it can be a bit overwhelming. So it's nice to just pull a card and see what crystal is being recommended to me for the day. And it's literally just a variety of crystals. And it will say a little bit. So for example, tourmalinated quartz, it says get out of your own way. We've got Lemurian, practice patience. Jade, be the bigger person. Rider-Waite, see the magic. Moonstone, live your purpose. Blue lace agate, find your calm. Carnelian, find your creativity. So it does give you a little bit of information about the crystals, but overall it's just got, I find some crystal decks have kind of really obscure crystals. Don't get me wrong, there are absolutely some in here that not everyone would have. But then you've also got just like the main classics as well, like amethyst, malachite, you know, tiger's eye. I just love it. I find it fun to do in the morning. Helps keep me connected and not interested in crystals, because I'm always interested in crystals. But what I mean is, it stops me from being stuck in a rut and just constantly using the same crystals. So yeah, would recommend. I forgot to say it was by Heather Askinosi. Oh, Askinosi. And they are my card decks. I feel like I rushed it at the end, but I need a drink and I need a snack. And I hope that was interesting for you to see what decks I have. I am in one of those phases where I want more, but I have got 3 within a month, so I probably don't need any more. Please leave comments below, let me know your favourite decks, and I may just have a little nosy online if I'm not familiar with them. And let me know if you have any of these and whether you like them. Maybe there's some that I don't connect with that you do, or vice versa. And I will see you next time. Bye.